Hi, everyone. Welcome to A New View. I'm Shira, and I'm here with Kim, Lee, and Juji. We are four friends, speakers, and professionals from different cultures, backgrounds, and age groups, coming together to offer healing and inspiration. Today, we want to explore the world of music. We're not referring just to the healing power of music, which can certainly be a thing, but to all facets of music. The way it can transport us back in time, make us feel warm and fuzzy, make us cry, make us feel all kinds of things. Girls, what does music do for you?
I'll start with this one. Music, there is a lot to say about music, but for me, I know it definitely has made me feel many different ways. Music is very, very emotional. For me, I actually, when I think deeply about music and how it affects me, there's kind of couple of different extremes and then a lot of course in between, but one way that it has affected me is I can think back to how this is a sad memory actually, when I broke up with my first boyfriend, or he may have broken up with me. The breakup like saddened me so much. Now we're talking, this was in the 80s. And I'll never forget this song, Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word by Elton John. It was just around, and it was, it was so popular back then. And I still, till today, when I hear that song, it triggers these emotions as if I was kind of back there. I mean, not in the same way, of course, but it's still such a sad song for me, and I just almost like feel like turning it off, like a lot of other sad songs. So I remember that, but on the flip side, there is certain music, especially like upbeat, that really, really moves me. I'm the kind of person, like if I go to a concert or if I hear upbeat music, I can't just sit still. I'm like, I don't necessarily have to dance, but I'll be moving. I'll be moving somehow. It just moves me. It's like a must. And one such song is, although there has been some controversy about it, one such song is Blurred Lines. There's been a lot of things said about it, but the beat and the tempo and the beat, like, to that one, I would say I almost can't not dance. But yeah, music. I love music. I love music, and I love all kinds of music. And I've been surprised to realize that in the last couple of years, I also listen to music that I always just never listened to, which is like kind of hardcore or like rap. I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I sometimes love it now. That was never me before though, but yeah.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall for when you're just like going hard, like cleaning to like gangsta rap. Like I would love to see that.
I can videotape it for you if you'd like.
Yes.
I can, I have a playlist. Yeah, I have a playlist that gets me going. So,
oh my God. See, I feel like that's such an important thing to note, is that like if the energy is low, just putting on music can shift your energetic like field so quickly. Like when we were preparing for this, Kim was like, I'm not a music person. And I was like, you know what? I used to think the same thing, because I'm not musical by nature. Like I don't play an instrument. I don't feel like I'm particularly good at singing, although my mom would argue that. But I always feel like I've been like a professional appreciator of music, like particularly certain genres of pop music. And when I can bond with somebody over music that we like, it's like a deeper level of understanding with that person. It really feels like we're connecting on this whole other level. And I feel like one of the most powerful things about music is like remembering where you were when you heard a song for the first time, or when you like heard an artist for the first time that you ended up like falling in love with. And for me, that moment was my friend came over and was immediately like, I need to play you this song. And he put on his iPod.
Are you dating yourself? Come on, you're the youngest one here. We don't believe you're old.
He put on his iPod and he was like, you gotta listen to this song. It's so crazy good. And it was Just Dance by Lady Gaga. And he was like, this chick is gonna be the next big thing. And I was like, I mean, I really like this song, but I don't know if you're right. And then, you know, one hit after the other came out. And like, I remember seeing her on So You Think You Can Dance, which is a dance competition show.
Really? She was on that?
She was on that with Just Dance because it was a dance show. And every once in a while they would have an artist come on. And she came out with like not wearing pants because that was her thing for a long time. And she had these crazy sunglasses on that said "Ga Ga" on it. And she had like this cane and she was working it. And just like the song and her presence and everything, just like, I was like hooked. She's my diva. She's it. She's the person. And when Born This Way came out, like, just forget it. Just forget it. I, to this day, probably the most played song on my Spotify. I listen to that song probably every day.
Wow.
Probably every day.
I just want to make a connection, which anyone listening will hear in a later episode, but it's funny that Gabor Mate in his book, Myth of Normal, refers to that song.
Mentions that, yes. Yes, he does. Because we were actually not born that way.
Right.
Right.
Well, but
We'll save that.
Yeah, but that's the thing is actually like human design, which is what I do, is all about that. Like I was born this way and I accept myself for who I am. And I was taken really far off track from how I was born. But now I get to like reclaim that and celebrate that and not be ashamed of it. And that is, I mean, I think it's such an anthem. And obviously the gay community has adapted it as their anthem. So really appreciate that. But I was also thinking about like other ways in which music is healing. And I thought of the fact that I go to sound healing sessions.
Juji, is music and sound bath sounds from the bowls like that is music, right? That is considered music.
Well, music is a frequency, right? And so if you're going to a sound bath, if someone here hasn't been to a sound bath, it's a series of tones played on these crystal bowls. So anybody who is like a sound bath facilitator understands like the order of the frequencies and gets to sort of like take you through a journey with frequency. And what that really helps to do is like, we are frequencies, right? We as human beings are frequencies. So it's like tuning us. Like it seems like you're tuning the bowl, but really you're tuning yourself. And that's what is so powerful about it. I've had some incredible experiences in sound baths where I feel like I just go somewhere else. I just check out and I think it's been 5 minutes and it's been over an hour. And I'm just like, I come out of this state of, I don't know what, and I am beyond relaxed. I feel super energized, super like in my power, in this frequency of love and acceptance and all of that stuff. And so I feel like I've seen firsthand what that can do when it comes to just our own well-being.
Yeah, I think in its own way, that definitely can have also an effect on us, a big effect on us. But I don't necessarily think it would be classified as music. Probably just sounds. Like I've done a sound bath, but I don't know.
I mean, I have not done one, but if it is a note, if a note is playing, because even when we speak, there are notes in our speaking. Because I can talk like this, and that's like an E sharp or whatever the hell it is. And then I can talk like this, and I can go up and down the scale. And like when you think about
Sing it,
sounds like
Shira.
that, it's kind of interesting, right? That
Sing
just
to
came to me,
us.
by the way. I wasn't even, but that's not
No.
even what I was thinking of.
I love that,
saying.
Shira, because I've been told by several coworkers over the years that I sing when I speak. 'Cause I'm always
Ah,
like, hi. Well, I can't do it right now because I have no voice, but I'm always like, hi, how are you? Like
yeah, right.
that's just how
Hi, yeah, na 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 na. It's amazing.
Hey girl,
There
hey.
you go. So maybe all sound is music.
Well, I just
There you
when
go.
I think about music and songs, I just go, wait, like, how did that start? Like, what's the origin? Like, we'll never know, obviously, because it came to thousands of years ago. But I just find it so fascinating that like music is actually a thing, because we spend so much of our life talking that when I think about putting words and music together, the whole thing is just like magic to me. It's just incredible. Um, one of the memories that I have of like certain songs that just like literally hit me over the head, and every single time I hear it, I cry. The first time that ever happened to me, I mean, I was young, like I didn't really cry about music until I had children. And there's a song called Butterfly Kisses by, I think his name is Bob Carlyle. Yep, that's his name, Bob Carlyle.
Heard it.
Butterfly Kisses, when that song first came out, it was sort of like a Cats in the Cradle-y kind of song. It was like, oh, you know, when my daughter was little, I'd give her butterfly kisses before she went to sleep at night. Da, da, da. And then when she was a teenager, she was all like, you know, rebellious and whatever, but she still wanted me to give her butterfly kisses. And then the next scene in the song is like she's getting married. And oh my God, my daughter was like little when this song came out. And when I tell you that every single time I heard that song, I was bawling my eyes out, like uncontrollably bawling my eyes out. And I was like, what is happening to me? This is so incredible. Like the grip that this song has on me is just incredible. Another song that I remember that really, really impacted me is The Living Years by Mike and the Mechanics. That's also like from the 80s, but it's a song about like having conflict with your parent and holding it in and not sharing it, and then it's too late, like they pass away and you never get to tell them how you really felt. Just stick a dagger right in my heart. And you know, as a songwriter, I just sometimes I marvel when I write a song, like when a song like really comes through me, it's like otherworldly. Like I really, it makes me believe in a higher power, where I'm like, I didn't really write that, it just sort of like came through me somehow. And so when I think about the power of music, I think about that. I think about this like amazing tool that I wish we could tap into more as a society, for healing, for joy, for creation, for connection. I just wish that there was like more of a thread in that, because like sometimes you hear about schools like, oh, we're closing our music program because we don't have any money. It's like, no, don't do that. Music is so important. Why would you do that? Why would you get rid of any of the arts? Like that's what helps kids. Think about teenagers, right? All they want to do is like have their headphones on and like, check out when, you know, it's good and bad, right? If they're like in a shitty place, they want to listen to their music. When they're happy and joyful, they want to listen to their music. So like, don't take that away.
You know,
Mm.
I remember being young and like always being, I'm sure all of you probably did this too, but like Madonna was my favorite, and I would be singing into a hairbrush and like crazy let loose. Like I was up there accepting the Grammy and like singing my ass off and like all the things. And just recently I was sharing something like that with you, Juge, and you were encouraging me to like do that again, like play. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be in my hairbrush, but but music definitely. You know, I don't think I'm a music person, because if you ask me like, oh, who sang this song and it's a really popular song, I would not be able to tell you. Like I just don't know names, maybe the big ones, but I definitely appreciate music, and I know it affects me emotionally for sure, because I can cry on a drop in watching a commercial just because of the music, you know. And I know we all relate to that. But last night I was talking to Mike, my husband, and I felt like I didn't really have much to share today about this. Like I was trying to think of like a time when music like really had an impact on me, and I really wanted to share something impactful. And he brought something up that I would have never in my life remembered or thought to share. I guess I just wouldn't have thought to share it. And maybe because I'm sort of burying it a little bit. But I'm glad he brought it up because it's making me sort of look at it and making me realize that there's some emotional work to be done in this area. But when I was in high school, I think I was a senior. I went out with a girlfriend and this guy that she met, and he said, I'll bring another guy and we'll go to the beach and we'll just listen to music, and we'll have some wine coolers. Wine coolers were big back then. And so he came alone. He didn't end up bringing anyone. And then we went to the beach, and I didn't think anything of it, just having a good time with them too. We didn't really know him. And we drank some wine coolers, and then at some point I fell asleep in his back seat. And when I woke up, he had his fingers inside of me, and he was making out with my friend in the front, but his hand and arm was reached in the back in my jean shorts. And I was so shocked, and like, I can't even explain the feeling. I was just in like shock because it woke me up, and I felt so much shame, and I never really processed it, honestly. So we were on our way home, and he was driving drunk, and we got into a bad car accident. And while we were in the accident, the song We Will Rock You by Queen was playing like loud, like he had it blasting, and it was just, I'll never forget the beat. I'll never forget. Like, so that song, I could not listen to it at all ever in my life again. And when I did, if it came on the radio, I had to like immediately shut it off. It had such a negative impact on me because it brought it all up, obviously. And I never told my friend. It'd be interesting if she was listening to this today. And I never really told anyone. And then I guess when I met Mike and we were, sharing and things, I clearly shared it with him at some point, totally forgot that I even shared it with him. And he brought this up last night, and I was like, that is something impactful to share, because I didn't think about it for years and years and years. Once in a while I'd hear it and shut it off. That was more when I was younger. But a year or two ago, that documentary Queen came out, and that was such a good freaking movie. Oh my God, was that a good movie? I know you guys saw it and are all agreeing just by your facial expressions. Yep. And when that song came on, and this was only like 2 years ago or whatever, ooh, it like penetrated through my soul. And I just was like watching the movie, obviously, so I was listening to it, but I felt so gross. And like, I guess the shame sort of bubbled up in me. And I never realized until like just him mentioning that last night. And just, I was like, he mentioned it, and I literally felt fear to talk about it. And that's why I knew I needed to talk about it today, because, and I'm like shaking a little bit before this call. I knew we were doing the music episode first. I was like shaking, like I was like feeling so nervous about it. And that's how I know I needed to share it, because it's in the sharing is the healing. But also it's just reminding me that like, okay, this is coming up for a reason, because you guys know I'm on this like journey right now, doing some emotional work. And but it's incredible how this song has, well, like what you were saying earlier about like, you had a breakup, and then you'd hear a certain song and it would like make you sad all over again. Like, it's almost like that song is like, oh God, there's shame, shut it off. And that's what the journey I'm on right now is. Like, I've been doing that for all my emotions that are negative for so long that now it's just like innate. So I have to say, Mike bringing that up last night was a pretty big deal.
Wow.
Kim, I'm so like proud of you. Like I am, because this is not easy stuff,
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. And hopefully that will help you, maybe just that you got it off your chest at least.
Yeah, I think that's what I was meant to do today, was release it a little bit. And I will definitely report back that next time that song comes on, maybe I can actually listen to it with a different something. But it's all to the point of it's really just so incredible how music can affect you, you know, all the different ways.
Absolutely. I feel like you don't have to listen to that song. You know, you don't need to like feel that I'm, you know, my mission is now to listen to that song and feel
Right.
happy. Like I can never listen to sorry seems to be the hardest word and feel like, you know, I appreciate the song. But you know, certain things are okay to put aside.
And I actually don't like that song. So I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to it. But if it's like in a movie or something, you know, I want to not have that feeling come over me. But at the same time, if it does, that's just an indicator that I need to just be aware of it and work with it and feel into it, right?
Yeah. And that's one movie I would tell you don't go see. Plenty
It
of
was
other
such a good
ones.
movie.
I have
Yeah.
to say that there have been, ever since I you know, for the last 4 years since I left my marriage, there have been some songs that when I listen to them, I'm like, hell yeah. Like the song Broken and Beautiful, Kelly Clarkson, and Katy Perry's Cloud Nine song. Like there, if you go back and listen to those lyrics, like those empower me so much because the lyrics are just incredible. They're just very much like, you got this, you're broken, you're beautiful, you fell off a cloud, like you're gonna dust yourself off and get back on your horse and you're just gonna do the things. And so I love that certain songs have appeared in my life when I needed them.
I was just gonna say, don't you feel like sometimes a song is talking to you directly? Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%.
I also want to add and share another little thing about me that I discovered years ago, also with music, that has moved me so much that I didn't realize until I was watching, you know, the movie with Whoopi Goldberg, Sister Act.
Yeah.
So there's a 1 and a 2. I don't remember which one, but I remember in the way beginning, before even maybe the opening credits, like this young girl, she's walking to church and there's gospel music playing in the background in this church, and the voices are, you know, you can hear it. And that's the next scene as they're going in there and showing it to you. And that has always moved me so much when I hear music from like deep South gospel. I almost feel like, and I say this to people, and I don't know if it's true, but like that in a past life, like that I was living in the deep South somewhere maybe and singing my heart out. Like those songs, like I cannot get over. Those are the most powerful songs for me.
Wow.
They move me like no other. And I don't even necessarily need to know all the words. You know how like you were just saying, Shira, how like, you know, certain words, like, yeah, they're very moving and impactful, but it's not the words, it's the soul.
Yeah.
It's the emotion that they put into it, plus the vibe, you know, and that tempo that just.
Lee, you have to see the movie Elvis. Did you see Elvis?
I did. I loved it.
There was
Yeah.
that whole piece about how from when
Yeah.
they went to the
Yeah.
got to the church and was just like completely like
That was me alongside Elvis in another life. I sang
Wow.
in that with him.
What if you were Elvis in another life?
Hey, maybe.
No, that's the Fonz. That's the Fonz.
The Fonz is A, right? Yeah.
Now I know what I'm getting Lee for Christmas.
Uh-oh.
An
What?
album, maybe some gospel music.
Album? Now we're dating ourselves.
I was like, what, on Spotify?
Right? Exactly.
Oh my God, it's so funny. All right, girls. Well, I think this is a great place to wrap, and I want to wrap it up by thanking all of the like musicians and artists and producers and songwriters out there who've like just changed our world in so many beautiful ways. If you've enjoyed our conversation, please subscribe to our channel and be sure to let us know if you have any topic requests or questions by commenting below. We will see you soon. Thank you for joining, and we love you.
Bye.